Well, howdy there, Pipe Pals. How you doing there? Old Holy Smoking Pipe Andre. Back at you with another video. It is a rainy afternoon. Show a little B-roll of that this afternoon. This dark and stormy night out there. It's only like only a little bit after 2 o'clock. So, and I've got a pipe here, and I'm smoking in this delicious pipe some delicious Burberry, and ended up smoking a Briar Calabash in honor of the final episode, possibly the final episode in the BBC television series Sherlock. But I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little while. And I got some coffee here at my elbow. Little paleo coffee with some, let's see what we got in here. We got some cinnamon for the old regulation of blood sugar. And we have some coconut oil. And we also have some tobacco flakes in there as well. And you say, what? Tobacco flakes? Well, when I was putting my pipe in there, and I brushed some tobacco pieces in there. So anyway, might as well give it a try. Can't hurt. Well, first of all, let me take the opportunity to thank David, dear David from Deutschland. I like that, dear David from Deutschland. This is the 15 Zweis Timiga Inventionen, Bach, some Bach inventions for, I guess, 2 guitars. And this is David's latest CD. Here's last year's CD. And here's this year's. Hope you were seeing that. So I just wanted to say to David, thank you so much for thinking of me, and I appreciate the little gift there. It was awfully kind of you, but totally unnecessary. Anyway, so happy New Year to David and to all of my friends in Deutschland. Well, I don't have that many, but a few of you. Let's see Grizzly Mouse Bear, Yogi Experience, Tanya, and of course, who could forget the inimitable Herminator. So, just saying Guten Abend, or actually Guten Tag to all of you in Deutschland. Now I'm hoping this will be one of the few times where I'm going to play some music in the background that I'm not going to get a copyright strike. I'm hoping. So if I get a copyright strike, we'll just blame it on David. Dear David. Well, it's been about several weeks since I made a video, and I regret to say that I haven't been feeling all that well. I've been feeling really tired. I'm going to go see the doctor next week. I hope there's nothing seriously wrong with me. I don't think there is. Knock on, Naugahyde here. I'm hoping that everything's okay. But I just have not been feeling as well as I used to. Maybe it's because I don't smoke a pipe every day. Maybe that has something to do with it. Yeah. Okay, so, gosh, I guess there's just a couple things I really want to talk about. I'm going to basically maybe keep this video kind of short. It'll probably go under an hour maybe. So I hope you're enjoying the Bach 2-part inventions here. It's very well done, expertly done. So let me get a little sip of coffee here. And I also wanted to thank Gentleman Scholar for a nice card, letter, So, little belated shout out to him and some other people. I have been kind of remiss on the YouTube channel there because I've just been, one, I haven't been feeling all that well, and I've been really busy with other things in the parish. So there you go. So anyway, two things I guess I'll share with you, and I'm trying really, really hard, trying to be really conscious of the camera's right there, not there, but there. I'm trying to talk into the camera right there, because I notice I have a tendency to do this, and it's not artistic. It's just it's just hard to focus on this little button of a camera on this. I'm using my iPad Pro, a 9.7 inch, and so that's just the way that works out. You know, maybe I'll talk a little bit about some Apple things too. And it has to do with Sherlock. So I guess I was wanting to talk about maybe Apple, Sherlock, and the Donald. That's right. Today is the 18th, so we have 2 more days. By the time, well, I'll put this up today, so it'll be, you know, day and a half until the Donald is inaugurated as our 45th president of the United States. For those of you who keep track of this sort of thing, it's kind of insignificant, I know. But here in the good old US of A, we seem to have a deluge of all sorts of naysayers that for some reason are just so prejudiced and biased. Now, again, I have to be honest, I didn't vote for the man. I have reservations about Donald Trump, although on one hand, I wish him well, and I'm hoping he's going to do some good things for our country. Again, you know my feelings on Brexit, and I think the Trump kind of thing was kind of like part of that new train that's coming along. And I know that a lot of people are nervous, they're afraid, but they're vilifying somebody before they've even had a chance to, before they've even given them a chance. And to me, that just is not conducive to, I say, a spirit of cooperation. And whether you like the man or not, I mean, 8 years ago when Barack Obama took the office, I wasn't that sanguine about it, and I'm not a racist. You know, some people think, oh gosh, you must be a racist. No, I'm not a racist. I don't like the man's policies, and I think in the last several days or several weeks, he's just kind of demonstrated that he's somebody who had an agenda that was completely, I think, counterproductive to America being a good and a great country. So, again, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. And I know there are a lot of people that don't feel that way. But here's the thing. I think that a lot of people have just vilified a person before they've really got a chance to really kind of say, okay, what's this person really all about? It's like, you know, again, it's just good old-fashioned prejudice. I'm going to dislike you because I don't like you in the first place. But why don't you like him? Well, because I don't really know, but I know I don't like him. And people are trying to make all sorts of fabrications about how... That's a wind blowing my little sign out there. I have a little sign. It says, La Petite Buissonnet, little beautiful place. So anyway, he hasn't even begun the office yet. I mean, he will Friday. And then we'll see what he does, see what he brings to the country. But I will say, I know why. I know why some people are upset and angry. we've been seeing in the last 8 years a march of progressivism in our country and in the world. A lot of it is kind of like, if you will, kind of looking towards globalism, where we all become one big happy family. Well, I don't think that's realistic, to be honest. I just don't think that's realistic. And call me racist if you will, but I don't think that Islam is going to settle for that. They don't want to be, at least the more militant folks, they just don't want to be homogenistic with the rest of contemporary society. And it doesn't matter which culture they find themselves in, their culture will be predominant over all other cultures. All other cultures will be assimilated into their culture if they get a chance. There's no co-mingling. There's no let's, try to work together kind of a thing. It's our way or the highway. And unfortunately, it'd be like a bunch of people came to your house and said, we're coming in and you're not going to stop us. We're taking over this house. You'd be horrified. You'd go, wait a minute. I mean, if you need a place to stay, that's one thing, but you're just going to come in and take over our home and kick us out? No, that's not right either. So, but anyway, that's where I think a lot of people have been, we've seen a lot of progressive ideals be adopted, and some people I know are very, very happy about that. And to be honest, we don't know. Again, some of these ideals, these progressive ideals, will probably be put on the back burner. They probably won't get the same attention that they had received recently. They probably are going to have to kind of get in the queue and wait their turn, and maybe they're not going to get their way. And I got to say that because there's a lot of people that have, I don't want to say they were spoiled, but we've kind of abandoned some traditional values in our country, and I think a lot of people are saying, hey, wait a minute, what about the rest of us? What about people that don't agree with some of these other issues? And how come, we don't have a voice? Everybody has a voice, and you can't just say, well, because you're old, white person, you don't have a voice anymore because your time has come and gone, and you got to get to the back of the bus, or you don't even get on the bus, and this bus ain't for you. So unfortunately, I think that's where where a lot of people have felt. I'm going to say how a lot of people have probably felt in the last few years. And now it's sort of like, well, now it's our turn. It's our turn, okay? So people that hold values that maybe run counter to the kind of the liberal or the progressive agenda, those people are going to find that they're not going to have the clout, the political wherewithal to enforce their values. Okay, so they're going to have to find new ways of kind of saying, okay, we have to maybe accept and deal with other things now. And so I don't know. Again, I don't know. I don't have a glass crystal ball here in front of me that I can look into the future and say these things are going to happen. But as I said in one of my other videos, when Ronald Reagan, I was a young college guy back in the 80s. It's hard to believe it. It just seems like yesterday. And Ronald Reagan was coming in, and everybody was talking about, World War III and Ronald Reagan, and how he's going to, bring the whole world into this great darkness and everything. It was like, that just didn't happen, folks. In fact, if anything, Ronald Reagan and I want to say Pope John Paul II and Maggie Thatcher kind of won for the Gipper, okay? Now, some of you probably disagree with that, but that's okay. You can be wrong. I'll let you. But the thing is that it's kind of like a slinky. How many of you ever played with a slinky before? It kind of goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And, maybe there's no real change. I don't know. All I'm saying is that I'm going to give the man a benefit of the doubt. Maybe we can make America America again. I don't know. Whatever that means. But anyway, so I'm not overly concerned. But because I think that to vilify somebody before they've done anything truly egregious is kind of stupid, okay? So, granted, the man is not a paragon of virtue. I'm not trying to defend his quote unquote his honor. I don't know, but I do think that he is a businessman, and I kind of sensed, believe it or not, even though I've always had kind of a wariness about, him. I'm just not sure. He's kind of a loose cannon. I'll give you that. But to kind of project a lot of fear onto an individual, trying to make him the new Hitler or the new Idi Amin or the new Saddam Hussein or the new Bin Laden or the new Mussolini or whatever great villain from history you want to try to superimpose upon him. I just think it's counterproductive, and I think it's unrealistic in the long run, because we don't know what he's going to do, really. I will say this, and I think this is a safe prediction to make, because he's being so vilified and so I saw something today that kind of echoes what I was thinking. The expectations of him doing great things are so low for so many people. Now, again, let's be honest. There are 50% or over 50%, the population here in America that voted for Donald Trump, and they believe in him. They believe that he is going to do good things for the country and for the rest of the world. Okay, there are a lot of people. In other words, not everybody that is in the Hollywood set or the progressive set, they have their voice, but there's another 50+% of people that did vote for the man and do believe that he's going to do some good things. So I think that he has, in some ways, we're kind of setting him up maybe to do some great things, because everybody just wants to see him as this really either bumbling demagogue, and all he's going to do is lead the world into the new Middle Ages, okay? That's basically what the scenario is. It's going to be so horrible and so bad. Well, who knows? Who knows? And again, it won't be him setting the world on fire, but it could be a lot of different things. Bach Invention number 8. I used to play this in. I love it. I love it. I love the Bach Invention number 8. Well done. Well done, David. So I'm done with talking about Trump, okay? Okay. Getting on to probably more interesting things and more things I really like to talk about. I want to talk about Apple products, and I want to talk about the Sherlock the finale of season 4, which some people are saying is not only the finale of season 4, it's the finale of the whole franchise. The whole thing's done now. Maybe, who knows? But I think, and this is my own humble opinion, that the problem with Sherlock, the problem is the same kind of thing that we see happening with Apple products, with the Apple company. And that is what? We have a company that really produces quality products, and yet people are spoiled. I'll say that again. People are spoiled. I don't know what people are thinking. I don't know what they want. I mean, they nitpick. It was what they're doing. They nitpick at something because why? Why do they do that? Because it seems to be the fashion now. It seems to be, well, we want to find fault with these things. And I guess that's just human nature to some extent. You get spoiled after a while, and you just kind of go, that's it? That's all there is? Well, for right now, I bought a MacBook Pro last month before the end of the year passed, and to be honest, everybody that's belly aching about the new Mac Pro, I have to be honest, I don't have those issues. I just don't. Now, again, there are some things that I could say, well, it's a legitimate concern, like the lack of upgradability. You're kind of stuck with that machine, so you need to pre-order the machine you really, really need to have, because after once you buy it, the chances of getting it upgraded to something a little bit more powerful, whether it's RAM memory or processor speed and all that, is probably something that there's a place called Apple Care or Core Care in Sacramento, and they are highly trained specialists. Now they could, if they have the components, they could take it apart and upgrade it to what you want. Probably, at least they could upgrade the RAM memory if you want. So I got 8 gigs of RAM. Old Richard T up there in Canada, he made a very good point. He says, anything over 16 gigs of RAM is kind of a waste. It really depends on what you're really doing. Now, if I was doing, truly motion picture cinematography, and I had to render things really super fast, had to have multiple professional applications open, all running at the same time, yeah, that extra RAM would probably come in handy. But still, after a while, it's up to the processor, right? The bus speed on the processor that can only process so much at a time. So you're limited there. It's a bottleneck. So anyway, the bottom line is that, if you don't like Apple products, don't buy Apple products. That's all I can say. I mean, and again, another thing too is caveat emptor. If you're going to buy something, you have kind of a responsibility in trying to ascertain whether or not this product is really going to meet your needs. I mean, if you're just going out to buy an Apple product because it's an Apple product, that's pretty silly. That's kind of like, well, that's kind of mindless. It's like, why are you doing that? I mean, if I bought like the Mac Pro I have here, and I just let it sit on my desk so people could be impressed, they walk in and see a Mac Pro on my desk. But if I wasn't using it every day to create videos, then it'd kind of be pointless. I mean, I could get by with a little, Windows laptop. If all I'm doing is checking email and doing, writing my homilies, that kind of thing. Maybe watching, YouTube videos, but that's about it. But no, I'm producing videos with specialized, content, visual effects. I'm just now getting back into Motion, which is a phenomenal program. And up until recently, Motion has always been seen as kind of the unwanted stepbrother of After Effects, because everybody kind of thinks After Effects is great, and it is. I'm not trashing on that After Effects, but Motion can do some really impressive things. I'll try to put a few little things that I've done in After Effects and just show you, some fun things that Motion can do. There's a guy named Simon Unadel or something like that. I forgot his last name, but he's a guy from, I guess, the UK. And he's sort of like the Andrew Kramer of After Effects. He has shown me things that I didn't know existed in Motion. It's like, oh my gosh, Motion can do this kind of stuff? Wow, that's like After Effects. So Motion is very powerful and has a lot of stuff. Plus, it's integrated into the hardware and the software environment of OS 10 or Mac OS. So that's why you can do things that, even though the specs look like they're kind of maybe not as robust as say other maybe more powerful Windows laptop or desktop, because they're integrated within the software ecosphere of Mac OS, they run optimally. So you may not need to have that extra, it's like a 6-cylinder engine comparing to a V8. You think, well, the V8 is going to be stronger and more powerful. Well, in some cases it may be, but a V6 a V6 can also be pretty powerful too, especially if it's been designed to work with the architecture of that particular car. Like Toyota does a great job in doing that. So anyway, that's all I'm saying about Apple products. And so that gets me down to Sherlock. I was going to wear my Sherlock hat. Well, can't do that now. Sorry about that. I was going to wear my Sherlock hat. Maybe I can. Hold on a second. I'm back. Okay, so I have to do this. I have to have my Sherlock hat. Got to have my deer stalker. Okay. Wear the darn hat. You're Sherlock Holmes. Wear the darn hat. Well, I'm not Sherlock Holmes, but I am a Sherlock Holmes fan, so wear the darn hat. That's what I'm going to do. Got the calabash, got the hat, even have a magnifying glass, but I won't pull that out right now. So anyway, I don't know if you got a chance to see the whole series, the 4 years. Well, it's actually about 7 years because they had like a hiatus. And in between the third season and the fourth season, they had the Abominable Bride, which I thought was a really, really fun. They actually put Holmes, the modern contemporary Sherlock that they have been portraying, they actually had fun putting him back into a Victorian milieu. And I thought they did that so well. They did a wonderful job doing that. But this last season, and it appears to be, of course we never know for sure, but it appears to be most critics who are panning the fourth season, they kind of think that they pretty much ran out of ideas and they pretty much stagnated, and they there's no point in trying to go further with this. Well, if they were doing the actual Conan Doyle canon, then I'd say, yeah, you've come to the end of the canon. You're done. You're finished. But again, these were adaptations on the character of Holmes, and so it's endless. The possibilities, I think, are technically endless. So it's not like, well, we're all done now. Well, some people. But again, here's where I get into this. It's sort of like the Apple thing here, is that, well, people are spoiled. People were saying, oh, it was gimmicky, I guess. I guess that was one of the things that I read somebody say. It was kind of gratuitously campy. They were just kind of playing mind games with people. But think about it. Sherlock Holmes is a detective, and that's where he lives. He lives in his mind. And he has to, figure things out. And what they have been doing, which I think is really fascinating and fun, is they kind of like try to show his interior self. They try to exteriorize the interior of what he's thinking, his processing of how he's deducing and deducting these cases, these problems, and how he's really trying to solve things. It's a very unique perspective that you haven't had before. And there's a lot of fun things that they do. So I found the last 4 or 5 stories to be very intriguing, very well done, very, very, very intricate. You have to follow along. You can't be just kind of sitting there, maybe checking your email or maybe talking to a friend on the phone and kind of having it in the background and kind of there's Sherlock Holmes and there's Dr. Watson, and you have to pay attention. You have to really pay attention. And I think that the stories were very, very intricate. They were very, very fascinating. I wasn't bored at all. I was mesmerized. That's the word I would use. I was mesmerized by all of these stories because they were so, they were like these Gordian knots. It's like kind of like if you will, a mental Rubik's Cube. Every time you think you got one side done, you'd find out you got 3 more that are unsolved. So I was not disappointed in any of the only thing I will be honest, I am disappointed that supposedly it may be coming to an end. This may have truly been the finale. So yeah, I'm disappointed on that fact, on that note alone. But as far as the writing of Moffat and Gatiss, no, I think they did an excellent job, and they're certainly in their prime. They could write new stories. I think they really did a lot of ingenious kind of stuff there to really make the stories three-dimensional in some ways. Yeah, it's not your standard two-dimensional character. They really kind of kicked the game up quite a notch. And so, again, it's like with Apple products. You get kind of spoiled by this great quality of writing or producing products, and then you kind of expect them to be making these huge, incremental leaps, every single 6 months or a year. It's like, that's unrealistic. It's like, I think that's why a lot of relationships don't last, is because people, after the romance is gone, instead of, really enjoying the relationship for what it is, they want the fireworks again. They want to have more excitement. They want to have more new discoveries or whatever it is that couples do these days. And, there comes a point where just being able to sit down with a quality friendship and relationship, or a product, or a TV show, and just enjoying it for what it is, instead of expecting it to be some, toe-curling, thrilling kind of experience. So, yeah, I just kind of, I'm not there where a lot of the critics are. I just have to say that I don't fall in line with what they think or what they want. I mean, call me. I mean, what's wrong with being content with something of quality? Again, a Hershey bar is a Hershey bar. You can enjoy it anytime, anywhere, really. Is it ever going to become anything more than a Hershey bar? Probably not. Maybe you can put a new design on it. Maybe you can put some spicy chili pepper in there, make it a spicy chili Hershey's bar. I don't know. But the bottom line is that it's a quality product. It stands on its own merit. It doesn't have to constantly be innovating itself into something completely new and different all the time. This is something in our society that I think is a trap. I think we fall into this trap of, well, we want new and improved, and we want new and improved to really be innovative, and we want it to be revolutionary. And that's not reality. That's not reality in our relationships with people or things or political systems. That's just not the way it is. So anyway, I don't know if you got something out of that this week. I'm gonna just kind of putting together a little video primarily to let my friend David in Deutschland know that I got the CD and I'm enjoying it immensely. Thank you, David. And to say hello to some dear friends that I haven't said hello to for a while. And wishing you all a great week. And again, not to just be discouraged or despaired. We're going to figure it out. I guess that's the thing about Sherlock is, no matter how complex, no matter how even kind of dark and sinister things may appear, we will figure it out together, especially if we light up our world and we light up our pipe. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next video. Ta-ta for now.